My mic was muted. Interesting. My name is Francis Fox, and I'm a trained government remote viewer. I'm also trained in interspecies communication, which is above and beyond being a pet psychic. Aliens? And I have a university degree from the University of Miami, political science. That doesn't work either. It really doesn't work for anything, as we can tell from politics. And I incarnated in this life wanting to achieve what I am actually accomplishing today, which is the case for a lot of you, and you're not really aware of it. I wanted to be able to deliver the highest level of wisdom and spiritual knowledge to help people access their power. In the Bible, it says several times, you are a God, you can move a mountain, and in one ear and out the other. Well, I'm here to tell you that's called miracles, but a miracle is not repeatable. It's called magic. And there's a lot of black magic on the planet, including against government officials. And I may talk to you about the magic that just happened a couple of minutes ago, done to me by a government that's on its way out, not here in the United States. And you should be able to see it. We don't need to talk about that. We need to stay focused. So I'm here to teach magic. But one of the ways that I entice you to follow me is by giving you information about you. Well, everything I do is about you, but you don't know it. But the horoscopes, you do know it. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the energies of the week, remote viewed. I'm not an astrologer. If you put a gun to my head and said, give me an astrological chart, I was born, I'd say, you know what, pull the trigger. I can't do a chart. I've never done a chart in my life. But I do astrology the same way I do everything else I do, medical intuition, business. So I will, these horoscopes will probably be different from a regular astrologer in that I have an intention. And my intention creates a filter, as it does for all of us. And the intention is to help you to evolve, to help you become the best version of you, so that you can not only be happier, but you can accomplish the mission that you chose for this incarnation. And like I tell people, especially in the beginning, years ago in the 90s, I had a lot of Mexican women, and they would come to me and would, give them healing and teach them stuff. And they were pretty miserable, too many of them. Their husbands and children abused them emotionally, and nobody paid any attention to them. And they were a difficult place. A lot were immigrants, so they lived with a lot of fear. This was the 90s. And I remember that I would check, and one day I said, you didn't come into this incarnation to suffer. You came in to accomplish a mission. You are suffering in that process, same as me. The tortures, the rapes, the huanyas. But the ultimate goal was not for you to suffer, and it's not the ultimate thing. The ultimate thing is you're accomplishing something. You don't know yet what it is. You will at some point. And they would, all of a sudden, they felt better. And when I had accepted that in the 90s, and my sister was the one who kept saying, you chose this life that you're now doing so much therapy on. I said, that's not possible. I'm not that dumb. You do. So that's the filter that all of this is going to go through, to get you information that will help you to get closer to why you're here, and to self-correct things that may end up being your stumbling blocks, because it's usually stuff within ourselves that a lot of times we don't recognize that stops us from achieving our intentions. So we're going to go ahead and start. We're going to start with, and this is for the week of June 30th, July the 6th, 2025. I did the horoscopes in Spanish, and I have to say that this is a week in which we're all apparently going to be dealing with the ultimate, what it is that really needs to get out of our way or needs to get adjusted. Because after this week, it's like an entirely new world, which could be living hell, or it could be, wow. And there you go, the Bible again. The Bible says at the end, God comes in, there's two women at the well, and he takes one. The Mayans said the same thing. The Dolphins did also. I hope this information will put you in the group to where within a couple of weeks, you'll go, you know what, I'm really glad I made that change. I'm really glad I understood that. Wow, things are different. That's my intention and that's my hope. So we'll start with Aries, which is a male sign and it's a fire sign. And Aries is having some issues with his second energy center, which is 2 inches below the belly button, the sacral, and it has to do with sexuality, um, manifestation, creativity. And there's some issues there, but it's issues that are in resolution. So let me see if I can figure out the issue and then give you a mantra or some homework. There's something you're not understanding, Aries. And when you understand it, you're going to be home free. So I think I'm going to give you the mantra, even though I don't understand, I love and accept myself. Apparently, there's stuff going on and you haven't been able to piece it together in a way that makes sense to you. Maybe it's not supposed to make sense. Maybe everything needed to be thrown up in the air and maybe you needed total chaos. And within that chaos, when the stuff lands, you will go, oh, I get it. So just do that mantra. And you can do it all day long and you can do it for the whole week. And I think it will give you some relief and you'll be able to see more clearly. Things are going to clear up anyway. The mantra is going to help you to be able to survive emotionally in the midst of all this chaos. Okay? So we're going to go on to the next sign, which is Taurus. Taurus is a female sign, believe it or not, and it is an earth sign. Taurus has finally decided to make a move. And then all of a sudden, there's all these choices, and they all look gold, but they're not what they wanted. It wasn't what they were having sleepless nights over. I want this, I need this, I should do this. It's other stuff. So you're getting sabotaged, Taurus. You're getting sabotaged. The spirit world is putting in front of you all these gold things to entertain you, and you're, oh, wait a second, maybe I need to rethink this. You know what, Taurus? Guess what? You're on your way to Parkinson's. Oh my God, Francis, you're so irresponsible. How can you say that? Well, Parkinson's is when your neck moves like this, and guess why it moves? Your body never moves unless you want it to move or you have a spirit attached. So Tauruses have spirits attached to their neck because they can't make a goddamn decision. It's like, okay, I'm going to do this. Well, maybe I shouldn't do that. I could do it. Taurus, you're on your way to Parkinson's. You made a decision. And then the bad guys in the spirit world, working through people on the physical plane, put this shiny stuff around you. And now you're not so sure. Parkinson's? Or do you want what you know that you want? Don't let shiny things deviate you from a deep-seated intention to be happy. And those little shiny things are not going to make you happy. Enough said. The next sign is Gemini. Gemini. You got a lot going on in your head. What I see is a lot going on in your head. You're making a lot of decisions. You're seeing a lot of things. And then there's all sorts of people approaching you and confusing you with all this information, new information, or they're reinforcing something that you already know, but they want to make sure you know it. So when you make your decisions, and then I see you going, wait a second, you know what? Everybody needs to back off. I know where I'm going. All this information, maybe it's too late, but I'll live with that. Just back off. I need to breathe, and I have stuff I have to do, and these decisions have been worked on forever, and we're going to do them, so just back off. So that's where Gemini is at, which is a good place. And so guess who Gemini is in our lives? Our president, Trump. I'm half Gemini. And that kind of corresponds with the stuff that may be happening this weekend, next weekend. which is stuff that has been worked on forever, and now it's actually going to happen. What the particulars, I don't know, but it just kind of intuitive feels that way. So, Gemini, you're doing the right thing. Make people back off. You've already done all the thinking, all the talking, all the deciphering, all of the measuring, everything. You made a decision. And no, you're never going to have Parkinson's, so don't worry about it. And I bet that if they do statistics, they'll find that a significant, there are many more Tauruses that have Parkinson's than the other astrological signs. The same way an insurance company years ago, I think they studied, or they didn't study, they put 5,000 files in a computer, and they found that Gemini were the ones that had more accidents. That makes sense because we have an expanded mind, plus we're the two little twins in Gemini, and they really should look at the astrology. It makes a huge difference. When you hire people, it makes a huge difference. So we're going to go on to the next sign, which is Cancer, which is a female sign, and it is water. The element associated with Cancer is water, which is emotions. And yes, we're very emotional. We're ridiculously emotional. But mainly the negative emotions, the crying, the grief, not the ha ha ha, not those. That's the bad part of Cancer. I'm Cancer. So, Cancer, what do you need to know this week? I think you're going to have an awful lot of choices. And I see you in water, which is emotions, but you're like up to your thighs. You're in control. You're not drowning. You're near the beach. And on the beach, there's a lot of gold balls. Wow, look at all those opportunities, all these things. But behind the balls are your people, your family, your friends, your lovers, whatever. And if you get out to the beach, the first thing you hit are these gold spheres, but you really want to get to the people. And you can. You can have both. It may not look like it initially because it's so overwhelming, the amount of gold that's there for you, Cancer, but you can. But let's give you a mantra to make sure you don't drown in all the good stuff. The mantra would be, please God help me with my intention to create a miraculously balanced life. You'll get your gold, the opportunities, the projects, the money, but you'll be with your people, whoever your people happen to be. Okay? Who's Cancer? The United States. Elon Musk. And don't his projects, don't they overwhelm him? You wonder how he could possibly have a relationship? So it's a question of doing a mantra and asking God for help to be able to have both things, because everybody, including Elon Musk, deserves to be happy. More, maybe him more than most of us. Information is power. Okay, so let's go to the next sign. Oh, Colombia is Cancer also. And Argentina is Cancer. That's interesting. It doesn't, from all the way up here, it hasn't looked like that, but I don't really know that much about Argentina. So we're going to go to Leo, which is a male sign and it's a fire sign. So what does Leo need to know if you're Leo? Leo. Leo, I think you got in touch with your power. I think you got clear. I think you're no longer drowning within yourself. I think that issues from childhood may still be there, but you kind of are working them through, or you're handling them. They're not going to take you down. And now you have all this power, which Leos have, and you don't know how people are going to start to respond once you step up to bat and say, hey, no, I don't think I want that. I never agreed to that. I think I want to do this. You don't agree? Oh, okay, so why don't you go ahead and do what you need to do, and I'm going to do what I need to do. And Leo's a little bit apprehensive because Leo has looked not wishy-washy, but looking like pleasing other people, the smiling, the helping out. And Leo is not there right now. Leo has basically claimed their power. And you know that a lot of people don't like that. So, Leo, I'll give you a mantra, even though I'm afraid. how people are going to react to the new me. I love and accept myself. Even though I'm afraid how people are going to react to the new me, I love and accept myself. And just let that fear diminish and then do what you know you need to do. And as I tell everybody, if you make a wrong choice, what's the problem? You say, this didn't work. Back to the drawing board, or let me make that second choice. Do not let the fact that you choose something that didn't work out that you thought would, don't let that stop you. Do not let that stop you. You're human. And you don't know that mistake, because Leos don't like to make mistakes, especially if people find out about it. That mistake probably sets you up for what you are supposed to be doing, want to do, etc. So let's go on to Virgo, which is a female sign and it's an earth sign. Virgo. Mexico's Virgo. Mexico's Virgo. The Virgo has been digging and digging and digging and looking for something, and they finally find a crystal ball. This is not a crystal ball, a clear crystal ball, which is what they were looking for. And then they sit there on the edge of the ditch that they dug to find the crystal ball. And they're just sitting there not quite knowing what to do with it. But they accomplished that mission. And now what do they do with that? So your mantra is, even though I'm not sure what to do next, I love and accept myself. So guess who's a Virgo? The man whose first name is Edmundo, who was elected president of Venezuela, who, the dictator in Venezuela, has not moved out of his way to allow Edmundo to get into his position. So if Virgos this week dug deep enough and got what they were looking for, this is really good news for Venezuela, but then they don't know what to do with it. So maybe Edmundo's not so sure what to do now that he is apparently going to be back in power. This is not the appropriate place to do it, but we have had so many incredibly interesting and profound magical signs from the universe about that transition of power in Venezuela happening. And we're mantraing so that it happened gracefully, miraculously graceful, that I do believe it's going to happen. And so this Virgo is going to be in power. The cute thing, though, is that what I've been told by my thousands of Venezuelan followers is that the person who's really supposed to be president is the woman. Can't remember her name, the vice president. But for some manipulation that they did to knock her out of the box, she couldn't run for president. So she had to stay in second place. So she's a Libra. So Libra is the next sign. And let's see the kind of energies that she will be getting. Now, the planets send you energy. They send you information. They prompt you. They block you. But they're not everything. Your personality, if you have spirits attached, you may not be able to get all the good stuff that the planets are sending you. And that's okay. That means if you're not getting the good stuff, that means you have a block, and then you need to find that block, because that's not just blocking the planets, it's blocking a lot of stuff in your life. So now let's go ahead to Libra, which is an air sign and a male sign. Oh, we already have an issue because we have Edmundo is Earth. And then the vice president, who's the person that supposedly holds the power, and she is the one that always talks, she's an air. Earth and air, he's a female sign, she's a male sign. They don't flow together because they're two very different elements and two very different genders. So there are those issues. But let's go on. Libra, for the week of June 30th to July 6th, 2025, what do we need to see? Libra's dealing with somebody and they're very impatient, and they're standing there and the other person is sitting there, and Libra has all these papers, and all of a sudden Libra throws them in the air and goes, I can't do this. Libra is going to need to have a lot of patience with the people that they're dealing with, and they don't have that much patience. but there's important decisions to be made this week for Libra. So they need to chill out. Um, they can take a homeopathic remedy called Tramil. It is not a medicine. It's from flowers and from plants, and it has a history of non-injury, 5,000 years of a history of non-injury. Tramil, Traumeel, and it is the number one remedy for sports injuries. Um, but it is also for emotional turmoil. I would recommend that. And interesting dynamics having to do with these two political people. And they kind of match what my followers have told me about them, which really good people. But the way it was set up had to do with some injustices in the political system. So we'll see. We will see. Why is Venezuela important? Because I have land there. No, I don't have anything there. Venezuela is important because in Venezuela is supposed to anchor a graceful transition of power in an area where all of the transitions, governmental transitions, always involve bloodshed. There is no graceful transition of power. Graceful transition from a dictator to a non, come on, and to people that weren't ex military. So Venezuela is going to accomplish this. That's all the signs we're getting. But it's taken a long time because the election was won, I think, in August, and we're in July. So it's almost a year that somebody who was not duly elected and who the other countries have been saying, you need to get out of there, and he hasn't. But you know what I detected yesterday? The Venezuelan population is so exhausted that their intention that there'll be a transition, and when I am with them, it's graceful transition. Um, they're not vitalizing that. They're too tired. No electricity, no internet, not being able to travel. A year, no, 25 years. And they're just like, so we changed the mantra to vitalizing their intention that there be a graceful transition. So why am I talking about this so much? Because I think we need to widen our lens. I don't think we should go into becoming part of the galactic family, and we still identify too much with one country. We identify, okay, so you're from the United States. This is great. The other countries, wow, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so now you're going to have to react to aliens, different aliens, some good, some bad, different planets. And you can't even see straight once you look past your borders. Just widen your lens now, and it'll be easier because it's happening. Okay, let's go on. Scorpio is a female sign and a water sign, which means emotions. And Scorpio has been restricted because of some gifts or something that he has, and Scorpio is tired of it. And so Scorpio just kind of like is taking off this cloak that's very rich and encrusted with diamonds and precious metals and gems. He doesn't want it. He just wants to be him, be free, do whatever. So Scorpio takes this off and throws it down. That's it. So this week, Scorpio's going to be making a lot of interesting decisions, I think. You may not find out about it. He wants to make sure you're not going to block him. But there's somebody there, and they pick up that magnificent cloak and they cut out all the gems and all the precious metals and put them like this little sack, and then put it in Scorpio's back pocket. So Scorpio made a decision, but they didn't lose the good stuff. Interesting. Sagittarius. Oh, Scorpio. Miami is Scorpio. So what does that mean for Miami? Taking off the cloak. Well, everything's getting revealed in Miami, the dark part of Miami. But we're not going to lose the good stuff. Okay. Got to think about that. Sagittarius is the next sign, and that is a male sign, and it's a fire sign. And Sagittarius has weapons in both their hands and is fighting off a group of people. They're backed up backed up against the wall. And all these people, and Sagittarius is not giving up. Sagittarius is, you are not going to control me. I will fight to the death. You are not going to control me. There's something I'm going to do. Not that I want to do it. I am going to do it. And the people around Sagittarius is saying, well, why don't we just put down our arms? Let's go ahead and let's talk about it. I'm sure we can work this through. And Sag goes, no more talking. I made a decision. Get the blankety blank out of my way. This is really good. So guess who Sag is? The dictator of Venezuela. And we have seen that he has wanted to leave, and it's the people around him who don't know what's going to happen to them once he leaves, because he's going to be fine when he leaves. And I think it would appear, perhaps with these energies that I'm reading, for all Sages, I'm not reading for political people, for all Sages, that will help him to finally break free. So he's not imposing on Venezuela. His group around him is keeping him locked down to a system that was elected out. So it's interesting when you can tie this in with people that you know or situations that you know, and you go, wow, because these are influences that these people get. Now, Venezuela is actually, we're arguing about what the astrology of Venezuela is, because everybody in Venezuela is very metaphysical in the sense of knowing their astrology and their flower essences and the oils and the whole 9 yards. So they all have a different opinion. I need to look it up one day, and we'll be able to tie it in. Okay, so here we go. We've got to go now to Capricorn, which is a female sign and an earth sign. Capricorn's third eye, which is here, is spinning. Crown chakra spinning and in the correct direction. Third eye is wisdom, knowledge, information. Crown chakra's connection to God, hope, faith. Capricorn, they're both spinning in the correct direction. And Capricorn is looking around and going, okay, excuse me, I got the hiccups. Going, okay. And Capricorn has been very defended. But what I see Capricorn, and I always see him building a big fence around his house to take care of his people, and standing outside with a gun and a rifle, because so he can see if people are all the way down there. The rifle will be better than a gun, but not this week. Capricorn is seeing and going, okay, I get it. I don't know what they get, but they're going, I get it. I get it. And this fence that they built, they open a gate so that people can come in. In other words, Capricorns are going to be less guarded and more available to relate to. They won't be so frightened, and their number one intention is not going to be self-defense, always to protect family and loved ones. That's Capricorn. So they're going to be letting people into their lives, and they're going to be able to relax. Now I see them standing by the fence like the farmers, and they have a stem of like a piece of wheat, and they're cleaning their teeth out with the stem, kind of relaxed. It's the image that I get. This is good. Capricorn has been through a lot. This wanting to take care of everybody in a world that is so full of danger, this is not easy. Not when it's your full-time job, it's not easy. So let's go ahead and continue to Aquarius, which is a male sign and it's an air sign. Aquarius. You also have the third eye and the crown chakra spinning, but there's a lot of depression in the third eye, like globs of jello, black. That's a miasm of depression. But the spinning is like throwing it, like when you spin something and stuff falls away. And you're in a room, it's like a living room. You're not stuck in a bedroom. And you've been stuck there for a long time. And you go ahead and you sit down and you take out a pad of paper and pencil. You start to write all the changes you're going to make. Not that you want to make, all the changes you are going to make. And then you have a list, and then you see that the thing at the bottom really needs to go to the top. So what you're doing this week is you're waking up and having faith, waking up third eye, having faith, crown, and you're putting down documenting what the changes that you want and then prioritizing them. This is a very good thing because Aquarius has been stucker than stuck for an awful long time. I don't know anybody that you know that would be Aquarius. There's a lot of them, but I don't right now. I can't think of anybody famous that could help you to, so you can track them this week and see how accurate I am or I'm not. Okay, so we have the last sign, which is Pisces, and Pisces is a female sign, water, which is emotion. Pisces also has the third eye spinning in the right direction, the crown chakra spinning in the right direction. And I see Pisces sitting at a desk with documents. They look like they're legal documents. And Pisces is looking at the documents, signing some and putting them over here, and other ones, no go, and they're putting them over here. And the thought is, I'll deal with the lawyer or whoever on Monday with these documents that I just signed off, and these others, let them figure it out. Pisces is not going to take responsibility for that. They're just like, no. So Pisces has also been meandering through life, not wanting to confront, not wanting to have to make people unhappy with decisions, not wanting to be responsible for changing stuff for others. That's not where they're at right now. Right now, they're in a place of, I'm making the decisions about my life, about me, and I'm not even going to say, let them figure it out. I, Pisces, am making decisions. And maybe I should have made them a long time ago. But it's not too late. So that's a good sign of an optimism, which when your crown chakra is open, you can have. When it's closed, it's very hard because you just see the harsh realities. If you want to keep your crown chakra open, which means you're going to be able to feed the rest of your chakra system with what comes in, the easiest mantra is Om. Om. See how my shoulders dropped? Instead of being like this, the tension, the wanting to talk to you. Om. It also will help with the attack planet Earth is under, that is a frequency attack that is affecting our ears and giving us ringing in the ears and also itchiness in the ears. And the other thing that you should do that the dolphins recommended is put olive oil in your ears every single day and put coconut oil in your belly button. Ears and belly button, mouth, nose, they're all portals. And these portals plus the belly button are heavily invaded now. So those things will help, that plus the Om. And if you can manage the Rudra Mudra. How do you like that for a name? The first time you do it, it's kind of difficult. I think I have a sketch. You might want to take a little screenshot with your phone, a little picture. Do I have it? No, I don't. Okay, I don't have it, but it's the Rudra, Rudra Mudra. And this is the position. That plus olive oil in the ears, coconut oil in the belly button, and Om. So that's it. I hope you enjoy the horoscopes. And share, please, if you like them. And follow us. We are giving chats in English at 7. I think I'm going to move it down to 6 o'clock. And it's where actually it's applied and functional metaphysics. I'm applying it a lot of political stuff now because I'm caught up in the middle of that due to my life history, due to being owned by the government for decades. But I also do a lot of simple things like this, and which is really what it is that I want for you, not the political stuff. And that'll end in a couple of weeks. I won't need to talk about that anymore. It'll all kind of be done. So that's it. And thank you for joining me. It's my birthday tomorrow. So wish me a happy birthday and do a visualization and see me with my children and my friends and my projects, and we're all happy. And there's no danger to anybody. And we can talk openly. And there's no security cameras. And there's no listening devices. And there's no enemies sent to pretend that they're friends so that they can figure out what the Fox family is doing. Visualize that for me. That would be a wonderful birthday present, okay? Thank you. Bye.